from the studios of KLAV in Las Vegas, it's Celebrity Onset with your hosts, Hope McBane and Tony Rowley.
Are you there, Little Egypt?
I am still here, Tony.
Okay, great.
Now, Little Egypt, I want to know what inspired you to get into wrestling.
Well, I wasn't, I never set out to be a wrestler. I was 19 years old at the time, so I didn't really even know what I wanted to do or be in life. And I was in Las Vegas, actually. So I have Las Vegas roots. I was working at the Boulevard Mall at a T-shirt store. And Mount Fiji, this incredible woman, came in to get a T-shirt made for one of her matches, and we just started talking, and she encouraged me to try out for the G.l.o.w show, and I did. 2 weeks later, this is what's incredible about what happened with me in wrestling, is that 2 weeks later, I was in my first match on television, and that's unheard of in the wrestling industry now, because the young girls, they start off, in the indies, and if they get lucky, they get picked up by a farm team, and they continue with their training till by the time you see them on television, they are at the top of their game. And I kind of evolved on television. So from, a few kicks and some headbutts up to some more intricate moves before I got injured, you can actually see the evolution of a wrestler by watching the G.l.o.w shows.
Wow, that's interesting.
Now, G.l.o.w actually got its start here at the Riviera in Las Vegas, and you used to live here, correct?
I did. I was a 35-year resident in Las Vegas. I grew up in Las Vegas. I graduated from Valley High School and worked in real estate after wrestling for 20 years in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so raised my son there. He went to Gorman and only just left after he graduated. So I have a lot of history and love for Las Vegas.
Well, you moved around the world a little bit, too. Wasn't your father in the military, and then you moved to Turkey? What's the story about this Turkey trip?
Well, my mom is Turk. She was born and raised in Istanbul, and she was actually in the movie industry. So she had, she was quite connected in Istanbul before she came to the United States. I actually just saw one of her movies on YouTube. This is how hilarious it was. Thank God it was a comedy. It was flying saucers over Istanbul, and it had cardboard robots, and my mom played a Martian. It was so funny because this is in the 1950s. And so my mom's passion was to always return there. And in 1986, I used to live in Cyprus, and then I came back to the United States. And then as my career took off in real estate, I was able to afford to go back more often. So I do have a passion for Turkey, being that my mom is Turkish, and just trying to bridge the gap between the Turkish-American communities and just trying to create more of an awareness of what that country is all about.
Huh.
Wow, she's it all over.
I have a question, though.
Mm-hmm.
Do they eat turkey in Turkey?
Actually, no, not really, because they don't. Turkey isn't wild. It's as you know, it is a native of Northern America, so everything has to be imported there. They don't get turkey like that, and mostly it's lamb and chicken. They don't eat any pork because it's 97%. It's about 97% Muslim, so you'd be better off being a pig in Turkey than a cow or a lamb. Better chance of survival.
Well, that was just a crazy question I had there, and because I know they are picky about what they eat over there. So what do you think about the U.S. and Turkey's relationship? What do you think about that?
Oh, I have to tell you, they have been allies since after World War II, and a lot of their democracy was patterned after the American democracy as well as the French democracy. So it's the only secular government in the Middle East, and they had the biggest Air Force base outside of the United States was based in Turkey, in Incirlik, Turkey. So it's a great airspace for Americans to be able to utilize in the event they need to be in the Middle East for whatever they were doing there. I'm not into the military and strategic purposes of Turkey, but I can tell you that they are very, very close allies. And during Hillary Clinton's administration as Secretary of Defense, she was spending a lot of time in Turkey and on the phone with the Prime Minister at least once a week. That's how strong the relationship was. So they are strong supporters of Americans, and every time you go there as an American, they are so welcoming. They really are happy to see Americans in their country. And after the bombing of 9/11, when I went that year, and after the bombing of 9/11, people just, when they found out I was American, just wanted to express their deepest sympathies because they were just heartbroken that happened to us. They really are so proud of what we've accomplished as a country, and they really try hard to emulate that in their government.
That's amazing. So I have a wrestling-related question. Who's your favorite person to work with?
While I was wrestling?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Oh, my gosh. I have to tell you, there's a couple, but I immediately go to the Heavy Metal Sisters. And do you know who they were? Are you familiar with g.l.o.w as a promotion, as a television show?
She may not be, but
I'm not familiar with them.
But I definitely am. Yeah, I used to watch it back then. So.
Did you remember the Heavy Metal Sisters?
Yes.
At all?
Yes.
And then they would double as the housewives, and they'd come out with frying pans and plungers, and oh my God, they were so funny. This was a comedy, and our director will tell you it was a spoof on wrestling, although we as workers in the ring got bit by the bug, and we wanted to wrestle, and we wanted to do it right. Our director was more interested in the campy, fun feel of the show, which is what sticks in the memory, and when people reflect back on g.l.o.w, those are the feelings that they get. It was a fun, campy, comedy-driven show. For us as the workers, there was a sisterhood, there was training, there was putting the matches together. We didn't have much to go from. We had to, we were watching the WWF at the time to try and figure out how to put matches together and to try and pull off some of the higher-level moves. Originally, we were trained by Mondo Guerrero, part of the legendary Guerrero family, when the pilot was shot in L.A., but the budget didn't allow for Mondo to come to Las Vegas. So from that point, after the pilot was shot in L.A., the girls self-trained each other. So I was trained by Attaché, who was this tiny little Marine, and she was phenomenal. Talk about a technical wrestler. After that, Nanuchka was also a wrestler, a wrestling trainer. So was Americana, Royal Hawaiian, Debbie Debutante. They all had an opportunity to train the girls. Technically, in the ring. Go ahead.
Americana's a looker, too. She was a looker, too. Nice
there
outfit,
you go, not
too.
The looks, always the looks.
Oh, my God. Americana is so beautiful. And if you go to my Twitter and follow me at Little Egypt, I just posted a picture of Americana. She just came down to Laguna to visit me a couple days ago, and she's just as beautiful, if not even more beautiful